Salute guys, dat houdt we Mr. Meyer back with another episode of the PSA podcast. Yes, indeed, myself, Mr. Meyer, and of course, Sir Gray Williams, Mr. Pastor Fabiani. How are you doing this morning, sir?
Yes, sir. Awesome.
You know what? Just before I even start this off, you can see this cap I wore now. A friend of mine gifted me this cap, and I thought to myself, you know what? I need something that goes with the theme of today. Ek sê, "Nee, waar is hy Fabiani cap van my?"
Yes, sir.
En I dink, "Gaan haal." Listen, so I mean, I know you've been doing your rounds on social media. You've created quite a name for yourself through through what you've been doing, and obviously doing God's work.
Yes.
Tell me a little bit about it. I mean, the play on for Pastor Fabiani. Waar kwam hy stukkie van?
You know, actually, when we were driving here, I was actually thinking that's probably going to be the first question.
That has to be the first question because we must now want to know what it means. Pastor Fabiani, you know?
Look, there's guys in the church, leaders in the church, hey? They few years in a row, they actually gifted me T-shirts.
Okay.
Fabiani T-shirts. I didn't think anything about it because I was never a materialistic guy.
100%, I got you.
So ek is 'n plaasklong meneer, man. You see,
Yeah.
I just come from humble beginnings. And so, I like, okay, these things are actually sitting quite nicely. It's very
It's a
comfortable.
nice Italian make. I mean, it's a good fit.
Yes. So check it now. Okay, fine. Maybe I must buy more of them.
Yeah.
And this thing just started to escalate. I don't know where it came from, but you know, we ended up here. But we thank God.
I can't even say it's gimmicky because like, the thing is that like that's also one of the I would say one besides for doing God's work, which I know, I think it's also one of the things that even boosted more people to find out now who's the pastor on, you know. But what's it now? Visit Pastor Nike or Pastor Markham's, you know? So
So Pastor Fabiani actually has a very nice ring to it, I must
Pastor
say.
Fabiani, it does. So I mean, so now if you just give us now a small little back of the history. Let's go back in time, right? When did you start getting into the church, getting into congregation, and like your journey from becoming a natural church goer to now being the person on the stage speaking?
Yeah. Look, short answer, I grew up Seventh-day Adventist, which I'm very proud of. So obviously I learned quite a lot about Christianity and my foundations as being a very disciplined and a hard-working person with a very strong work ethic. Carried that into university. I studied at University of the Western Cape.
What did you study?
I actually studied environmental and water science.
Okay.
I have 2 degrees, a bachelor's and an honors degree.
Beautiful.
So I worked for 17 years at the Department of Water and Sanitation as a scientist. I actually only finished October last year. So for 17 years I was there. Okay, the journey continued, gave my heart to the Lord on the university campus, and then I just knew in my heart that the Lord's going to call me into ministry, man. I was small and I used to preach, and people used to call me small pastor and whatever.
He's a kleine pastor.
Groot mond, you know, like you, when you have a big mouth, people people always say, you're going to pastor wees, or you're going to be on TV or whatever, stuff like that. So I just knew in my heart that the Lord wanted to use me in the direction of ministry and preaching, and it just flowed naturally, man. I ended up, you know, using social media to get the message out there, and this thing just went crazy.
And I think that's pretty cool because I mean, I think we don't realize how great of an impact or a tool social media is today.
Definitely.
Because how many more hearts you can reach, how many more people you can reach with your messages, and essentially, I think it's free advertising. Also, you hop on there, people follow you, they see what you're doing, and now with your journey and what you've been doing, I mean, what has been some of the challenges that you faced, like in your early days of ministry?
Look, I think social media is a double-edged sword, like all of us know. It can easily backfire on you.
100%.
You know, because you sit with a tall poppy syndrome where people have this crab in a bucket kind of mentality, and no brown man seemingly wants to see another brown man rise to prominence and success. So unfortunately, you know, when you grow up in a small town, you tend to think that people maybe Saron in the Boland, like close to Portable, like very small mission station, previous mission station.
Okay.
So you tend to think like this mentality is limited to the smaller towns. But when I came to Cape Town, I'm not a Cape Townian. I mean, when I came here, I realized this thing is the same. It's like everywhere the same. The mentality is the same. And unfortunately, with my flamboyant, outgoing personality, you know, I sometimes can be a bit harsh and a bit crash and be a bit flamboyant, and people seem to misinterpret my intentions a lot. So I got a little bit of backlash. You understand?
Yes, a bit of flack from some people.
But also in the same vein, my man, you know, at the end of the day, the Bible says we become all things to all people. The common saying for that will be, when you're in Rome, you do what the Romans do.
The Romans do 100%.
So I realized, you know what, I didn't like this name of Pastor Fabiani because it painted me as a materialistic dude, a dude that's just after money and all these kind of things. And people began to speak to me and said, listen, doesn't matter what people say. At the end of the day, take this name, run with it, because you can reach an unreached population, segment of the population.
Yes.
You can reach people that would not normally go to church. And I just went with it. And to be honest, I kind of stirred the pot deliberately a little bit there. And it worked because people were reached. And that's what it is about at the end of the day, I believe.
No, and I think that obviously when there is a little bit of controversy around anyone,
Yeah, yeah.
it creates. I think I again say there's no such thing as bad publicity in the sense that
Definitely.